Hi guys. Okay, so we're going to talk about this Cancer new moon, and this is a extremely lucky, beautiful, wonderful new moon with it's conjunct Jupiter. So it's very, very lucky. Whenever we have Jupiter involved, we kind of get to be in touch with a bigger vision, more inspiration, a bigger view of things in a certain area of life. And, it's going to be all about feeling good. This is a very watery, emotional moon at the same time. With Jupiter and Cancer, we're feeling our emotions big time. But this is going to give us all the kind of insight that we really need to move in the right direction that is best for us. So I'm going to go through all the signs and tell you where this is happening for you. And I'm going to talk about the energy of this moon and how you can take advantage of it and how you can manifest with it. And if you don't know me, I'm Jenna. I talk about astrology and energy and, ascension energies overall. And I like to talk about the highest possible outcomes so you know what you can, manifest with because we are constantly manifesting our reality and our thoughts always create our reality. So I like to input helpful thoughts into your brain so you can manifest the best reality for you and, be in touch with that hope and inspiration for yourself. Because we need to break out of those old programs big time and we need to set ourselves free. And I will show you how to do that and show you the higher frequencies. Okay, so this new moon is conjunct Jupiter. So very, very lucky. It's very inspirational and at the same and it's also in Cancer. So what Cancer is about, it's about home, it's about belonging, it's about our foundation. We need a really good foundation and we need that nurturing and we need to be able to go back to that comfort zone so we can relax and really get into ourselves and get into our being. That is so important because we need those roots that really reach all the way down so we can be successful out in the world. So we're going to be really getting in touch with just being too. Cancer is more so about being and getting in touch with more of that energy of who we, came here to be, without all the, weird identities and false masks that we put on. And we're kind of, really being faced with a lot of that with, this Saturn Neptune square too. We might be really, frustrated with certain things where we're not feeling very in alignment. This is this like like this has definitely so what's funny about this new moon is that the moon is gonna, come into Cancer, it's gonna square Saturn, it's going to square Neptune. So there's frustration, and we've been feeling this Saturn Neptune square Jupiter, already for the past week. So we've been on this kind of emotional roller coaster. And personally, I've kind of been like, angry and then feeling the resentment and just the, sad and then just the, all the emotions and then again, angry again and just empowered. And how can you be empowered? And how can we combine both actually to feel the best and then also go towards the new versus getting stuck in any victim mentality or old ways of being. This is a massive like purge, so we can kind of go through an evolution. And then after it goes through that square, it conjuncts Jupiter, which is awesome. So we're setting ourselves free. We're like, how do we actually want to feel? Because happiness is a choice, feeling grateful is a choice. Feeling sad is a choice. We get to decide how we want to feel on a regular basis. And that's really important to recognize because the longer that we hold on to the resentments and those negative emotions and even grief or sadness, that's us choosing that, and if we hold on to something long enough, if we hold on to a certain emotion for too long, if we're not just like feeling it and letting it flow, and we're choosing a negative attitude, that become or a negative feeling, that becomes an attitude. And if you hold it for longer, it becomes a personality trait. So we, are really majorly just getting in touch with more of our soulful essence and how we can feel more love and that compassion and that enthusiasm and that joy on a more regular basis. Because when we're in touch with that, we're in touch with our soul and we can get our inspiration and, really come here to be who we really, are meant to be with more freedom and more enthusiasm and creativity. When you get to, when you look at the vibrational scale, when you get to that joy and that happiness, that's where the creativity comes from. And, that's how you can be led to take the right steps to manifest more of your best life. So yeah, this is all about planting the seeds. It's looking at that bigger vision and how you want to feel and getting to that core of your being and your essence and in your heart so you can plant those seeds for more security and stability and emotional well-being so you can succeed and manifest all your desires. So Jupiter is all about optimism. It's about travel, study, belief, faith, spirituality. It's kind of also getting into alignment with your purpose too. When you get really optimistic about something, when you get inspired with something, you're connecting with your purpose. So you can really, kind of get those inspirational downloads and, write them down. This you need to manifest with this new moon. This is a powerful new moon. You should be starting, any sort of projects during this new moon. It would be really beneficial because we're going to be able to have that clarity at the same time with what we should take seriously, what we need to make a plan with. Because Saturn and Neptune, we need to dream big. We need to be empowered with who we want to be now and how we can dream really big. But at the same time, we need to become a better version of us and we need to accept the challenge. Saturn is going to make us realize what responsibilities we need to take on, what plans, what commitments, what structure, and what and how can we be consistent, because this is the long term. This is something we want to write down for the long-term goal and take steps towards it every single day. So we can be empowered. Aries is all about, the self. How can we be more so embodied with that being and being that greatest version of ourselves so we can bring our best manifestations into reality? So Saturn is also where we can become better. It is maybe taking on the challenges and everything, but we're recognizing where we can be better, where we can accept the challenge and prove to ourselves that, maybe it looks challenging at first and maybe we have, a hurdle or something to overcome, or a block that we have to really face and, make a decision with. But we might be angry too. We might get really angry with whatever blocks or frustrations we run into. But we can use that as fuel to be like, that's it. And that's the most important thing. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the vibrational chart because I just have to. We need to get angry at least, because instead of just hanging out in apathy or guilt or shame for not doing anything, we get angry and then we get up here. And this is kind of where we get more of that, guidance to, more of that inspiration, more of that, the next steps to take. We're more in touch with our imagination and how we can create more of what we want to manifest. So it's definitely, useful to use the anger, if you've been wanting to do something, but you just keep on holding yourself back, get mad, and then you'll make a change about it and get fuel from that mad. It really does work and it kind of makes you excited, so you can, change, make a change in whatever area of your life. Because there's so many ways that, maybe it's because we were holding ourselves back in some way. You got to really investigate the blocks. Maybe you weren't ready for it. Maybe there was, another person that took the opportunity or whatever it was. This is just a major tension. It's like contracting versus expanding, and it's just kind of going back and forth. and just a big push pull. So we can kind of, really question our beliefs in the first place. We're going to be faced with a lot of our emotions and, a lot of them coming up and like, why do we feel that way? Why do we believe this certain thing? And yeah, it always goes back to some sort of belief. Um, or some sort of view so we can question things and kind of expand. This is just pushing us to evolve in a really big way so we can be in tune with those higher beliefs and those higher perspectives. That's why you get mad, because you can get that, your own insights with, what perspectives are actually elevating you and what is actually true to the core of your being. And, what's in alignment and what's out of alignment. Sometimes or yeah, just all of us, we all get programmed by society in a certain way where we're in a certain position and we feel like we need to be more serious and we feel like we just need to go along with the grind or, whatever it is, or we just need to be stressed to work and be successful, which isn't actually true. Um, Recognize what kind of beliefs you can kind of shift out of, so you can recognize where you can maybe create out of more joy and out of more love. And you don't have to be serious, because actually serious brings you down here and it doesn't give you those next inspirational steps and insights with where to move next. I'm just like so obsessed with the mass, like I've been doing so many manifestation books right now, and literally all of like every single chapter, it just leads back to like you should be paying attention to your thoughts all the time. So that's why affirming and robotically affirming is so powerful, because it makes you so aware of your thoughts, because how you think becomes how you are, and then it becomes how you feel, and all of that. So it's really important to recognize just all your perspectives and where maybe you can get mad and then maybe laugh it off too, because it can break, the perspective in general. The more elevated you get, the more you can just get elevated out of whatever stuckness. It just frees you in general. This is a major like freeing moon. So I love that. But it's gonna kind of show you what's out of alignment. Where do you need to let go? Where did you miss the plot in life? Like, life isn't supposed to be miserable. Life should be, more focused on the beauty out in the world and creating more beauty out in the world. There's too many people right now focused on the sadness and, there's too many people focused on creating like sad stories and everything out in the world, because they feel like that would, bringing attention to the sadness in the world would, make the world a better place. And that is true. But at the same time, there's so, so, so much of everyone focused on the bad. When the world needs more beauty, that's how we'll make the world a better place, is bringing more beauty into the world. And where can you bring more beauty into your life? This is where we can majorly get in touch with that, especially with Taurus. I mean, Venus and Taurus, we want to focus on beauty and, comfort and, living a really good, sustainable life. And, you don't need a ton of stuff to like live a, sustainable, comfortable, beautiful life, because we are all creators and we need to create more beauty in our life and more beauty in the world, because we all deserve to live in a beautiful world. And when we get in touch with our imagination and that inspiration in our higher selves, that's the beautiful world that we can create. All, big businessmen, all, inventors, they get in touch with, they visualize everything before they create it. And to be able to even do that, you have to practice it, because it is a muscle. Your imagination, if you don't use it, you lose it. So you can but you can get in touch with that majorly with this full moon, because you can easily be inspired and get in touch with visualizing anything that you really want to bring into your reality. And creating can be challenging, but that's the fun part. And that's what I love about this square, because you can challenge yourself to create in a different way. You can, push yourself to create something. And then you realize like how challenging it actually is. But then that's the fun part because you're challenging yourself. You're showing yourself who you are by creating something in the way that, you want to do it. It gives us the opportunity to just ride the wave of our emotions, to really trust our emotions and not get stuck in resentments or past feelings and whatever we just constantly get stuck in, victim mentality. Hopefully not. That's not a thing. It shouldn't be a thing anymore. But we can get stuck in our own limitations because of how we feel, and this can majorly release that. So we give ourselves the ability to hold more of our own power. And that's what evolution is. It is rising to the challenge to become better and better, to hold more money, to hold more abundance, to, have more people in your life, to have more of just what you want. It's recognizing all those blocks that you can slowly get over and get fired up and recognize what challenge you want to take on and where you don't want to be stuck anymore. So let this like really just fire you up to take action, to get inspired, to take inspired action, because inspired action is actually always more powerful also. Um, and when you do that, you allow source to just flow through you more. And you actually don't need to know with, especially since North Node is in Pisces still, you don't really need to know the long-term plan fully. You can have the outline and everything, but, and that's where, visualization and everything kind of comes in handy because that's where the outline is actually. But you can, you just have to be in the present moment and more so in your body and letting source flow through you so you can, get the plan, get the ideas, get the inspiration, and get the best next steps that go in the right direction. Manifestation is easy, actually. As long as you're up here, like manifestation is really, really easy. It doesn't have to be hard. It's when we get stuck down here where we're not getting all the inspiration and insight and guidance that it makes it hard. So also what I've been doing with this energy, since you do go back and forth from the inspiration to the just like frustration, and you can like easily get stuck in either or, um, affirmations. As soon as you're in a funk, do that 10-minute affirming for whatever you want, especially the I am affirmations, because that is a state that you're tuning into. Do that for 10 minutes. Say that, over and over and over and over for 10 minutes. It's kind of like you're tuning into a certain frequency, which is up here, that will give you like the inspiration and the insight and the guidance and, just get you out of that funk so you can kind of create and give the power back to yourself. And, like it doesn't have to be spiritual, by the way. It can be about money. It can be about the person being obsessed with you. It can be whatever you want to manifest, because ultimately, we need to be empowered and we need to be successful in the material. So whatever, is firing you up and giving you that motivation, start mantraing that and, and affirming that to, bring it into your reality. Um, because yeah, when you get in tune with that, that when you start affirming, you really feel the energy start moving through you, and you just get inspiration from source with new ways of being, new ways of thinking, new ways of taking action, and just flowing along. And I especially love with this the sextile to Virgo, because this is giving us the plan to take action. Mars in Virgo is really, really amazing, for creating grounded results. We can make the plan, we can decide how we want to be consistent, we can, be very results oriented. And yeah, just refine things. It's really, really powerful for that. I also like Uranus at 29 degrees because this is giving us major breakthroughs with what we value and what we want to manifest more of, and how we can, create with more ease, in our reality. And what I kind of noticed with this is that, with Venus and Taurus too, that manifestation is fun and it should be playful. It reminds me of Sabrina Carpenter, how she's, doing the pop star thing and she's doing really, really well, but I don't think she's taking it as seriously. she's making fun music, but she doesn't need to make the best music and win a Grammy and all of that. She's just having fun with it, and she's causing a scene and she's making a statement and everybody loves it. And, I like how she's having fun with it and her vibe with it. And, that just kind of proves that having fun as, doing whatever you're doing is usually how you become successful because, vibes show and people love the high vibes. And then I pulled some cards for just a little extra insight. So the fifth chakra, we're speaking up. We could be extra, moody and wanting to speak up. Just, make sure you're also at the same time getting grounded. Grounded came out right underneath it before you speak up, because Mercury in Cancer too, we can be very moody. We can just say it and we just, could feel a little triggered or whatever. But at the same time, if we just use this in the right way and really use this to get more of that, insight within, we can have a lot of breakthroughs, with what's really what we do want to manifest more of. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be very sensitive. So getting grounded, empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. If we're feeling too up in the air, which I totally have been, just with this fire and water, it's really giving us that purge so we can kind of get grounded and take a break. This energy is making us realize like, we need to take a break and get in touch with the feminine energy, that how powerful it really is. We've been so programmed with feeling like we always need to take action outside of us for results, where that's actually inverted. We need to get in touch with our inner world first to figure out the best ways to take action, and that is the most powerful way. So get off the treadmill where you're constantly like pushing and going and going and going, where you're just making like, things too hard for yourself, where it actually doesn't need to be that hard. Um, Mother energy came out. We're getting in touch with the divine feminine energy. And this is where we can, get more into that nurturing and that patience and that unconditional love and joy with creating life, because this is all about creating something or creating more. So this is opening up our hearts in a big way, but that's going to lead us to more abundance, the cornucopia, so we can get rid of all that, the lack and the limitation, because there's no such thing as lack or limitation. That's just the bad programs that are currently rampant among society. And we get to play, we get to have fun and play to break the chain. We're breaking major ancestral patterns by healing and rewriting how we want to live our future, and in a way that's actually, in a way that's good for all of us. Um, okay, so, and Anna came out, grandmother of Jesus, seeding light, laying foundations, the divine plan. We're, yeah, receiving all that light. This is so much light coming in, especially with the solstice. Um, and the solstice gives us all that energy to really make the next 3 months really magical, really wonderful. So it's really important to be in the right energy right now and to purge as much as you can and be in tune with the reality that you want to manifest moving forward. And have a lot of fun. That's going to get you in touch with all the, ways that you can manifest. All right, thank you guys. So I'm going to go through all the signs. You look at your sun sign for your career and, more of who you are out in the world. It is kind of like a broader soul perspective too. Look at your rising sign. That's always going to be the most accurate with your day-to-day life and, the immediate transits with what area of life it's affecting too, and your moon sign for your personal life and how you're internally feeling. So you can also get into that higher alignment with, feeling good so you can attract and magnetize the right things into your life. Cancer, okay, so this is all about yourself and your identity and who you are out in the world. This is your avatar basically, and this is a bright new beginning with you. You might be facing some pivots with overall life direction and career, and this is a great moment for you to get in tune with what is going to be the most beneficial to you and what are you excited about? What are you inspired by? So you can go in that bigger, brighter direction. I like the sextile to Mars too. So that's giving you kind of the plan, the best ways to take action. You can be very motivated in your everyday life with how you want to take action towards those bigger manifestations and what you really want. So really get in tune with, how you want to feel on a daily basis, how you want to present yourself to the world. How can you become more of that highest version of yourself that's embodied so you can receive all of your manifestations? Because Cancer is all about receiving. It's the feminine energy. You just have to be in internal emotional alignment with what you want to receive. So you're definitely rebelling in some way. The ever unfolding rose, you're being cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. You could be kind of emotional and very all over the place right now, but you're feeling it. So you can really, break open to the new soulful wisdom and that bigger, higher vision of where you want to go. You're getting in tune with your happiness again. And this could be happiness from a long time ago, possibly from before when Pluto was at an angle, so you can get a little less serious. So you can kind of rebel. Rebel came out. So this is where you're kind of maybe getting more so into your rebellious energy. So you can really be fired up out in the world and create that, bigger legacy that is really inspiring to you and really motivating to you. Challenges to authority to affect social change, reject spiritual systems that do not serve the inner needs. Yep, you're getting in tune with the inner needs of yourself, but also for everybody. So you can rebel wherever, you might have been pushing too hard or following society too much. So you can be in tune with how you can manifest your reality in the best way possible with more ease and more flow with, the North Node in your ninth house still. All right, so thank you so much, Cancer. Hi, Leo. Okay, so this is happening in your 12th house, and this is where we really don't see things. So there's a spotlight on what we haven't seen clearly, and this could be the past. This could be a situation that we didn't really see clearly. This could be just something internally that we didn't recognize about ourselves that we needed to really be in touch with, because the 12th house is also your higher self. It's where we can get in touch with our higher self and that deeper soulful purpose that really does inspire us, that we, do want to bring out into the world, that creativity. And yeah, there's a square to Saturn. So we might be dissolving major beliefs. There could be things that we, thought about the world or certain worldviews, possibly dogma that, hasn't been serving us, that has actually kept us limited, where we can be more released out and just opened up into the world to manifest our reality in the best way possible, because knowledge is power. And the more knowledge that we have, the more powerful that we are to create our reality. So this could, start off some sort of motivation too, to kind of gain that knowledge. So you do have that freedom out in the world. So this might be definitely frustrating. There just might be, emotions coming up from the deep past that you need to burn away and kind of recognize more of the opportunity out in the world, and maybe the ways emotionally that we might have self-sabotaged ourselves that we can kind of release, so we can, just get fired up and be that, that empowered inspiration. And I like the sextile to Mars and Virgo, because this is kind of empowering us with our resources. We can receive that higher inspiration and that higher guidance to make us rich out in the world and go after that money and develop that income stream, develop that structure, so we can receive all of that abundance that is really meant for us. And then also feel empowered with our self-worth. The more that we really feel good about ourselves and the more that we, boost up our self-worth, the more we are empowered to create that financial abundance. So women holding a heart came out. You're really getting in tune with your heart and your heart pulling you in a certain direction to create, more abundance, more better relationships, more of the love that you really want. And, the manifestation book, what does it say? We want love, money, abundance. Yeah, like that's pretty much it. A comfortable home. Yeah, so we're getting in tune with that and what's going to make us really happy with that. And trust your path. If you knew you were supported, what would you do? You're receiving, a lot of just support right now from your higher guides always. You just have to ask for help and then the signs and the synchronicities. So you can trust that unknown path. I feel like when Jupiter is in the 12th house, we're on that spiritual journey. But that spiritual journey really does connect us to the bigger picture, and the more we can dissolve more of the boundaries that have really kept us in, so we can have more of that unconditional love for ourselves and for humanity, so we can be master manifestors. I'm very emoting today because Garden in the Gate came out, where there's a big, beautiful world. It's a beautiful garden too, and she's comfortable, but there's also a big, beautiful world out there, and the gate needs to go. The gate shouldn't even be there. So it can be just beauty and abundance for yourself and for all. I'm pulling archetype cards because we need to break out of the ancestral patterns, and two came out for you. So poet, you're not recognizing, they both came out reversed. So you're not recognizing your inner poet, where you can find the, follow your heart again to create. You're meant to be a creator out in the world. You need to create. So, where you can express those deeper soulful insights in symbolic language. I mean, that is like the perfect card for the 12th house ruled by Cancer for Leos. Yeah, you're, wherever this was kind of shut down, you're getting in tune with that again. So you can, because that's all creativity is us really expressing, from our soul. That's how you get the best creative works of art. That's how you get, real music that like hits the soul. Because when you're in touch with this area of life, you're getting in tune with the oneness of everything and everyone. And when you get in touch with that, there's a little piece in there and inside of you that is also another little piece inside somebody else. So you can, create the best, whatever you're creating. And then child nature. So get out into nature, friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. That'll be beneficial. Get into your childish nature also, so you can receive, that inspiration that you want to create from. All right. Thank you, Leo. Hi, Virgo. So this has to do with your hopes and your dreams and your wishes and the bigger vision that you want to manifest with your reality. So you are ultra, ultra lucky with Jupiter here for the next year. This is like kind of planting the first seeds. You got to plant those seeds for your bigger hopes and dreams and really kickstart it. This is such a powerful moon to really start it, to see how much you grow in the next year. You could also receive a social media boost because this is kind of outreaching into the world in a bigger way. You could be traveling, you could be connecting with old friends or new friends, and co-creating just with a bigger network of like-minded people to create a bigger impact out in the world. And with this square, you might be facing past challenges. The 8th house is sometimes where we don't take action out of fear, where we might hold ourselves back out of guilt or shame, where we can kind of go through that internal purge to really free ourselves, so we know what we want to commit to. And this could have to do, there could be from some frustration with current contracts that you might be facing. So this can be a really powerful time to see that bigger vision and see how you can get in alignment with renegotiating some of these things, so you can free yourself from what's no longer serving you and then agree to what is serving you. This is also your money, the bulky money. So investments, inheritances, shared finances with your spouse, property even. And there can be kind of a bigger vision that you get in touch with so that you can really plant those seeds and see the bigger vision of what you want to manifest. And I like this Mars in your first house. So you're really empowered. You're going to be motivated, for the next couple weeks to really take action. When Mars is in the first house, like nothing is stopping you from actually moving towards your goals. You want to move out in the world. You want to partner with the right people. You want to, be just really, empowered in your everyday life too. You want to make a schedule. You want to make a plan, make a structure, and go after it. Go achieve. So I love this energy for you. Definitely manifest, get in touch with that higher vision. Because Leap came out reversed. So there might be an even bigger vision that you can get in tune with now. Because you might be limiting yourself in some way. This is where you maybe thought about taking the leap, but didn't take the leap. But you go first, it's you got to go first, especially if you're a leader. I love the cards that came out for you too. You're going to go first to really follow your happiness, and you might be kind of a trailblazer. You might be just like a real leader. A real leader just goes first. That's what makes a leader a real leader, is going first into the unknown. And you just know that the universe will catch you. You are majorly abundantly supported by the universe with Jupiter in the 11th and these new connections that are kind of coming in. So leap, the universe will catch you. And the warrior and mystic came out. So I love that. The warrior, strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice, and conquering the ego. So maybe there's ego things that can be even conquered and let go of with the South Node in your first house. So you can release anything that's been holding you back ultimately from this bigger universal vision. And because you're getting more so in tune with the mystic, and this could be somebody helping you out, or this can be your own inner vision, because all of us have our own inner vision. And sometimes it just takes a mystic to help us see more of our inner vision also. So you can be more in union with the divine and with source and with those higher self creations. All right. Thank you so much, Virgo. All right, Libra, this is happening in your 10th house. So this is beautiful. You're looking at your legacy, who you are out in the world, your long-term goals, your career, whatever you really want to invest your time and energy in for the long term, for your overall legacy. And you could be getting in tune with a bigger vision, of where you want to go out in the world and how you can expand. And it's bringing you more trust and faith in source. Like, some people don't like that word, but God, God, source, prime creator, as the Pleiadians say. It's literally just the energy that holds everything and everyone and is inside all of us. And you're getting in tune with that energy more so wherever you were blocked before. The square to the 7th house, there could be certain relationships that, you have extra responsibility with that might be a little heavy. Maybe you've outgrown some of them and you really have to question who you're committing your time and energy to, because you got to ask, do they see that bigger vision that you see? Are they like motivating you to go? I mean, this could even be like a, push in a challenging motivation so you accelerate out in the world even more. So make sure you're aligning with people that see that vision, that are giving you that boost. And you can still be going through challenges at the same time, but at least you're, out evolving in the right direction. That is really beneficial for both of you. If you're, in a power couple relationship, or a powerful business partner relationship, or whatever close relationship. And it could be even a challenging client that comes in that maybe like makes you angry and pushes you to evolve to even be better in a certain way. that can happen, because the seventh house is just any one-on-one relationship, and it could be, family, it could be your friend, it could be any one-on-one relationship. So know that whatever tension that's there, it is just a push for evolution. And with Mars in the 12th house, this is you getting motivated by that higher soulful inspiration, and also maybe motivated by what you didn't see clearly in the past, but you're seeing it kind of now. And, it's making you motivated. There's some sort of, drive to kind of do more out in the world. Okay, so the sun came out, so you're getting in tune with your higher self, your soul, and that inspiration, and what really makes you happy. This is major creative energy too. And you're recognizing where you didn't leap before. This is like the same card that came out for Virgo, because leap came out reversed. So recognizing where you got that idea. Don't you hate when you get a really good idea and then you don't act on it and then you see somebody else do it? That's because ideas need to be acted on. The idea, will go to certain people, because ideas just kind of float around in the ether. And, whoever acts on it is who's going to get more and more and more of those ideas. So make sure you're getting in touch with those ideas that you're receiving so you can leap, go first. The universe will catch you, and you don't need to care about anybody else. Somebody might be envious, and maybe you've been holding yourself from shining your light out in the world in the best way possible because, you're afraid of, what would they think? What would they say? Oh, this person wouldn't like it. But you got to do it anyway, and you have to do it because you haven't been listening to your higher self and that inspiration that's going to create and make all of your manifestations come true. So recognize more of that compassion and more of that connection to that external higher force, so you can create what's within yourself and bring it out to the world and create it for other people also, because you are a visionary. I love how many cards came out for you. This is a big one for you. You are a visionary, and make sure you plant those seeds and take some action when it comes to your long-term goals, because you will see results, especially, in this next year with how lucky you are out in the world. So visionary, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Yep, you're in tune with a bigger vision that's going to bring you a lot of money and a lot of success and a lot of gain for yourself and the world. All right, thank you so much, Libra. Hi, Scorpio. So this is happening in your ninth house, which this is a really lucky area of life. And with Jupiter there, it's extra, extra lucky. Jupiter is at home in the ninth house, and Jupiter is also exalted in Cancer. So for the next year, you get to reap the rewards in this area. And when Jupiter goes through the ninth house, you really get in touch with just optimism and faith and belief in yourself and what you can possibly achieve. So it really pushes you beyond to achieve out in the world. And you can do it easily because you have that belief. So you can really plant the seeds here with what you want to believe in and how can you be that most empowered version of yourself, and really getting in tune with that biggest inspirational vision. If you see somebody else doing it, you can definitely do it too. And you can definitely be connecting to your higher self, because Jupiter in the ninth house, you can definitely be, just getting that higher connection where you're receiving a lot of just downloads and inspiration, and kind of leading you on a certain path that's taking you on a spiritual adventure or actual adventure, because you could be traveling the world, and that kind of can lead to you seeing the world in a different way that leads you more towards your purpose and what you want to be doing. And I like how there's a nice sextile to Mars in the 11th house, so you can really make a plan. You're also empowered by this longer range vision and with connecting with the right people and networking. And you can be very practical with the plan that you formulate to achieve what you want to achieve. So protection, call your power back, cut the cord, soul retrieval. The South Node is in the 11th house. So you are letting go of certain connections that might not be serving you. And that is to make room for the new connections that really do want to come in, that are very empowering. You could be just getting shocking things from, people with Uranus at 29 degrees. People could be acting a little bit chaotic or eccentric. And it's all about who can you manifest with, who can you partner up with to manifest in a really powerful way. And you got to trust yourself, trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? You are majorly supported right now. So if you get inspired and if you see something that you want to achieve, and you can do it, and it's up to you to really extend and be excited about it and go on that adventure, and just know that you are supported with the powerful relationships. Companion came out. So there are powerful relationships that really do want to partner up with you, that will be very motivating, and want to co-collaborate, and they'll see your vision. They'll be like minds that want to work with you. And it's all about finding those connections that you want to work with, so you can, go in that bigger direction, because Door to Spirit is kind of elevating you and pushing you in the right direction. So make sure you, tune in, receive those downloads and that insight to kind of go in the right direction with the right people. And this is a powerful new beginning. I like how on this card it is a new moon also. And so, yeah, it's all about finding your tribe and your community to work with. The 11th house is social media, so you could be connecting with people online too. But any kind of, motivational group that kind of, gets you motivated to go is great to connect with. And there might be frustrations when it comes to work, or just coworkers, whatever work and grind you currently have. There might just be like some intensity. You see a bigger vision of where you want to go, and you're excited to expand and possibly get the group on the same page to go along. But there is some sort of slow moving energy with really getting everybody on board. If you're dealing with coworkers, if you're dealing with work, if you're dealing with the everyday and the mundane, there is some sort of slowdown and needing to make sure you're structuring things in a way that is beneficial for the long term, but at the same time in alignment with where you're going and your higher inspirations, but also dissolving of the old and what's really not working anymore. And maybe having those tough conversations. You are inspirational, so you bring the, inspiration into the office environment, and, it can, really get things going in the right direction. And this can also just be you getting some information for your health and your diet and your routines. And maybe just deciding to work more out of that pure creative energy and more out of that inspiration, and not keeping yourself stuck in being too serious with work, and not letting yourself, have fun and play. Like, where, there's businessmen, and we don't need it. Who said you needed to be serious anyway? Have the whimsy, bring the whimsy back into the serious jobs and everything. And then, you can bring the magic for yourself and for everybody else. All right. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Hi, Sagittarius. Okay. So this new moon is happening in the 8th house, which has to do with money. It has to do with contracts, agreements. It has to do with intimacy. And, kind of that deep investigation too within the soul, and those deeper desires. So this is a really beneficial new beginning when it comes to your serious relationships and contracts and who you partner up with. This could deal with your marriage partner, and there's just something, they could be doing really well or making more money. And, there's could just be really collaborative partnerships that are coming in for you. And it could be business partnerships also. This could also just be you internally releasing something that has been holding you back internally. The 8th house is where we hold fears or those more negative emotions that stop us from doing things, stop us from going after our desires and what we truly, want in our life and what we, truly want for that security. And this could be a whole renewal of faith and belief in your ability to manifest and, your ability to manifest the bulkier money and not just the small money that can come in. You can really, see a beneficial way to invest. And this could be investments in the market or in property or, a business. Maybe you want to start a business. This would be a really, really powerful time to start any contracts or businesses that you can invest your time and energy in for abundance in the next year. And yeah, overall, this could be just majorly the beginning of freeing yourself. The eighth house is where we hold on to guilt, shame, judgments, any of these lower dense emotions that have been keeping us stuck from manifesting, from getting up here and, receiving this expanded inspiration from our higher selves and our imagination and all of that to manifest our reality in the best way possible. So this could be, you just seeing some sort of opportunity and you acting on it, especially with Mars in your 10th house. This is motivation towards your legacy and your career and your bigger goals out in the world. And it's giving you that motivation to really go achieve. So you could totally see some sort of opportunity to go after something and, just go after it. So this is the age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. I think this has to do with really freeing yourself from any of those dense emotions that have been keeping you stuck for lifetimes also, because this could have to deal with just lifetimes worth of karma and stuff that you're just releasing. So, and you can feel that energy, it just allows more of your unique frequency to kind of be embodied when that happens. So definitely feel with this new moon. You're really seeing where you can kind of get in tune with your creativity and more of that inspiration and your imagination to create out in the world and to be really powerful while you're doing it. Because this is also square Saturn and Neptune in the 5th house. So you're really, getting in touch with that creative energy. And there could be a lot of frustrations, with where you blocked yourself, where you didn't fully step into your power, where you were like not making a structure for your creations and putting them out into the world. You can recognize, where you were frustrated and really make a plan, really make a structure for it and, create. Because the Poet came out. So I love that. It came out reversed though. So you're recognizing kind of that deeper soulful essence and, those deeper soulful insights that can actually be expressed. Creating is very healing. So I like these, houses kind of go hand in hand because when you recognize a deeper aspect of yourself that, has been wanting to come out, it's just very healing to channel it into creativity. And it will be authentic creativity. So you can make masterpieces, whether it's in music or art or movies or, social media stuff, whatever avenue you really want to channel something into. You can really express something from the soul and realize how empowering that is and how much that does give you more confidence and more alignment with who you actually are. So you can turn, and I love how on this it says shadow, you can turn the negative into like a positive, where in the shadow, it would just be destructive, possibly if, you have fun in the wrong ways and you're not, facing these deeper emotions, you can actually face these deeper, traumas or whatever and channel it into creativity. So let all the emotions come up and use them to your benefit. And it might be out of anger too. So you can use that as motivation to really achieve out in the world. Because your second chakra is getting lit all the way up. This is pure, just creative sexual energy. And you can use it towards just this new age coming in and creating more beauty out in the world where there needs to be versus overthinking it. There is some sort of releasing of possibly overthinking. The thinking women came out. But it's also combining both because you're making a plan for your creativity and then enacting it out in the world. This is unblocking you in a massive way. So you can get your creative energy just channeling the Kundalini, the sexual energy, just your higher connection. So you can go create, works of art and what your soul is really calling you to create. When you get those emotions and those intense feelings, that's your soul wanting to express itself in a certain way and to, push yourself to do it. And this can also be major dissolving of blocks when it comes to relationships and intimacy. We can face the ways that we kind of closed ourselves off or shut ourselves down or had any walls up. So we can, have more of that unconditional love and really commit to actually keeping your heart open because it's good for, yourself in manifestation and everybody. So in the age of light in general. So, make sure you're dissolving all those blocks with creativity and channeling, all of it into something and becoming the poet, expressing your soul in an in-depth way out in the world. All right. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. Hi, Capricorn. So this new moon is happening in your 7th house. So there's a beautiful new beginning in your relationships. And if you live with your current relationship, there could be a little bit of frustration at first because of this square. So you're facing home, foundation, family, maybe resolving past issues. Neptune's here. So you can be very compassionate, very empathetic, and also very inspired with seeing how can you plant better roots that serve who you are now and have those conversations and don't try to fit into the mold of society and what everybody else is doing. Maybe you want to live somewhere completely different. Maybe you want to live a completely different way. And you can have these conversations with your significant other and really plant solid seeds for growth. This is also a beautiful manifestation moon to kind of attract in a strong soulmate connection. Oh my gosh, my Capricorn rising friend a couple of years ago now manifested a really strong soulmate connection, a sun moon connection. They have sun conjunct the moon. And yeah, those kind of connections only come in once in a lifetime and they're very, very, very strong. So recognize who you really want to manifest into your life and get specific with when you do manifest somebody into your life. I always hear like the biggest regret is that they weren't specific about this one thing or that they had everything, but this one thing wasn't on the list. So, go ahead and get specific and let the universe bring you in a high level soulmate connection. But this is also clients. This is also friendships. This is also any one-on-one relationship that you want to improve. You can set those intentions to, better bring in higher relationships. And, this is also just very healing, a very healing connection can come in that, is like, soul family, so not everyone wants to be with their blood family. And you can bring in, a strong connection that is, like family because you guys are a soul family and, have a foundation that way and have a home that way. So connections are very, very important. And, you can balance things out. And this could be you standing up for yourself more too at the same time in relationships because you've healed the core of who you are and you want to show more of your authentic self to your significant others because that will bring in the strongest relationships. Angel of Balance came out reversed. So there is balance that needs to be found. Oh yeah, and Mars in the 9th house, you can be very motivated by your bigger vision and knowledge and belief in yourself to really go achieve your vision. But Angel of Balance came out reversed. So there is some sort of rebalancing that needs to happen, maybe at home, in your relationships, at work. When there's a square in the angles, it can tend to affect like multiple areas of your life, especially with, a Saturn Jupiter square and Neptune. It's a bigger square, so you can really know like who or how you want to balance things out. And this can really give you that insight and clarity and that inspiration to balance things out in a better way, for everybody, for the highest good of all. Gossip card came out for you. So I think you might be releasing gossip. Gossip, when it's light, awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. So maybe you might be releasing yourself from somebody who's like gossiping too much, and because sometimes that just brings your vibration down and gets you focused on the wrong things and just waste your energy towards gossip. So you can, yeah, there's somebody that you might be releasing, because you're recognizing the core of who you are and what's not in alignment, and who's, just beggar came out also. So who's just wasting kind of your energy, who's it's up leveling your relationships in a big way, where maybe you hung on to certain relationships out of fear, out of abandonment wounds, out of anything like that, where you can up level and have more of those empowering relationships in soul family. Because protection, you're calling your power back in a certain way. You're cutting the cords, you're retrieving more of your soul. Some connections come in for a little bit, so we retrieve a part of ourselves, but they're not meant to stay forever. But you're calling your back to yourself, to have these empowering relationships. And yeah, maybe you want to cut the cords from past relationships so you can have this beautiful new beginning with strong partnerships. So yeah, because powerful relationships want to come in. So maybe you're, getting rid of certain relationships to let the really powerful relationships in that are balanced, that will bring that inspiration and that motivation and make you see more of your manifestations and what you want to manifest. And that's really powerful. I love this card for a manifestation card too, because yeah, it's the pyramids. You're getting in touch with like ancient times and everything. And yeah, just the elixir of life and what you can possibly create with the right relationships. So yeah, shadow with gossip thrives on power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences, and beggar energy. So this could be you or somebody else that you need to release, but make sure you're not, exhausting yourself. Check on who's like the balance of energy and if they're giving as much as you're giving and all of that. And recognize that you're just protected. Cut those cords, balance out your relationships so you can enjoy the best relationships for you in this next year. All right. Thank you so much, Capricorn. Hi, Aquarius. So this is happening in your sixth house. So the sixth house has to do with work, your daily life, your routines, health, diet, exercise, coworkers. And if you need to hire someone, this would actually be a really, really beneficial time to hire somebody. A really, really good time. And set the intentions. And if there's a coworker that you do like, you can, or if you don't like, maybe you can, manifest them away. You could, but anyway. So there's a square to Saturn though. So there might be some blocks when it comes to mentality, the current schedule, how your everyday life is structured, and how can it be more so in alignment with the flow of everyday life. I think you can remove a lot of like old blocks of the ways that things like used to be done, but maybe they don't have to be done that way anymore. And there's a way you can kind of free yourself from the old mundane ways of doing things. But also I think you can receive a lot of just inspiration. You're receiving a lot of inspiration in your everyday life with your mentality, freeing your mindset, thinking more positively, and recognizing how you can kind of be more in flow with the universe, versus, sticking to a very, firm plan or, structure. And I like this sextile to Mars in the eighth house. So there can be maybe a way to just reorganize your time and energy so you're using it in the best way for you, and work smarter, not harder. Don't feel the need to just go and go and go, and there is a time for downtime, and this would be a great time for downtime and realignment, so you can spend more time taking care of yourself, self-care, self-love, taking care of your body, and make sure you're just taking care of your vessel, so you don't wear yourself out. And then, so no came, wait, postpone, pause, say no. Yeah, there's certain things you need to say no to. You shouldn't take on every project. You shouldn't be taking on every, because Jupiter in the sixth house, there can be an overload of work, and recognize which work is just what you need to say no to. And this could be people, this could be a project, this could be you needing to stand up for yourself at work. This could be you wanting to take on another job or another opportunity, because you are very, very lucky with Jupiter in the sixth house, with maybe getting a job that is more ideal for you. So just know that, all projects, not all projects or work is great. And it's up to you to get into that alignment to know what you want to say yes to and what you want to say no to. And I think you'll know right away. Sorry, my Zoom just restarted. I think you'll know right away, So say no if you're feeling that urge, because this no card, wait, let me make this bigger. Okay. No came out. So, because you're getting kind of a bigger inspiration with a better direction that you should go in. And you want to listen to where you're being kind of electrified. Uranus is about to move into your fifth house. So that's sparking up your creativity and releasing you from any blocks, so you can be more so on your Dharma timeline. Fifth house is your lucky house. So you're going to be receiving some sort of random opportunities or people that come your way, or just creative inspirations and downloads that guide you in the right direction, because it's going to be training you and making a sextile to the Saturn and Neptune. So maybe just not yet. You'll know more so. Hello. Okay. You'll know more in probably July when Uranus goes in here, and you just got to let this, whatever frustration when it comes to work in your everyday life, kind of dissipate. And this could be with neighbors and pets. Hold on. Manifest your neighbor away if they're a bitch. I did that because my neighbor is literally a terrorist. And I think my vibration is too high for her to be around me now. Anyway, so you can do that, and have this kind of just evolution for your higher good. So you prioritize taking care of your body in your daily life. And so you go through this evolution with your mentality and your perspectives. So you can recognize your ability to create and manifest in an effortless flow versus how things have been done. So wait for that electric moment. You will receive it. Release any gossip. Gossip just came out for Capricorn too. Maybe there's people in your everyday life just wasting your time and your energy, and kind of, you can just stand there forever and be on the phone forever or whatever it is. But ultimately, you're going to be more powerful, bringing that power back to you. And so light attribute with gossip is awakens consideration of the feelings of others, honoring trust. Shadow, passing on secrets and information. Yeah, but you're walking away from something. You know what you need to walk away from so you can receive the bigger benefits. All right. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Whoa, Pisces. I didn't even realize I just got to you. Oh yeah. I gotta do it until Cancer. I thought you were the last one for a second. It's like, whoa, I did that so fast. That's so exciting. But yeah, I wasn't, I have been in flow. So anyway, that's kind of nice. So maybe that's what the universe is saying to you. You know, this is you finding your flow where you're just kind of vibing, you're at your frequency, you're just kind of going about things and boom, bam, like everything kind of falls into place. Projects come in, the right relationships come in. And yeah, this is definitely you finding your flow to more ease, success, and abundance without trying so hard. So yeah, this is a new moon in your fifth house, and that's amazing because you know, that is the fun area of life. This is a Dharma house. So you're getting in touch with your fun, your creativity, your self-expression, your charisma. And when you get to pump that up, you just get to, you know, and be in alignment and enjoy your life in an easier way. Work harder, not smarter. Smarter, not harder. So, but with this Jupiter Saturn square, there might be a challenge to current structures. And this could have to do with work, with the way you make money, with, yeah, just your resources. And yeah, maybe even, you know, just your self worth. Like maybe you realize you've been wanting to express yourself in a certain way and you've been holding yourself back, but now you're having that big charismatic boost. So you're just going to express yourself that way anyway. And, you know, this triggers like any blocks that were there from you being fully empowered with your self worth. So, yeah. And yeah, this can kind of lead to a lot of breakthroughs when it comes to creativity and creative ideas with making money. Maybe like there's just an old school way of, you know, just receiving your abundance that is just frustrating and you see a better way to do things now. So it's like a pushed evolution. So you can enact a higher inspirational timeline. I was thinking of a different word to use, but like, you know, that's what it is. Um, and then with the sextile to Mars, I like that because there's really powerful relationships. Look for the relationships that are empowering, that are motivating you in the right direction. There could be frustration from relationships at the same time, but if you look for the ones that, you know, are possibly fun and exciting and empowering you in a certain direction, then you can have a lot of fun creating with one-on-one relationships or working with one-on-one clients. That, yeah, okay. So, yeah, father. So you're definitely creating your own structure in some way. Father came out, so talent for creating supporting life, positive guiding light within the tribal unit. And you're doing that in a way that is more supportive to your heart because you're having a heart opening with this. Um, Definitely plant those seeds. Like if you're single, now's the time to attract somebody into your life. Plant those seeds to attract somebody into your life. But you can, you know, really just have a journal with this new moon and kind of write down all the downloads that you receive for this so you can create more from the heart and release any blocks where you've blocked off your heart in any way. So you can go, like, let your heart lead the way. It will guide you towards the abundance, towards where you're really meant to be, and towards the right people. And that will lead to the right structure that is meant for you, you know, to create more stability out in the world. But inner temple, you're really tuning into your inner temple. Alignment is everything. Your vibration is everything. And that will attract and magnetize all the right things to you. So, inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Yep. You're getting major answers like with where your heart is calling you towards, and it'll call you towards more stability, 442. So, this is majorly about stability. If you're worried about stability, follow your heart. It'll take you towards like the stability that is really meant for you. And it'll heal, you know, just a lot of wounds when it comes to stability by recognizing abundance can be easy. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be you just being in alignment, tuning into your heart and manifesting your best life. All right. Thank you, Pisces. Hi, Aries. So this is happening in your fourth house, and your fourth house has to deal with home, family, living situation, your roots. Where do you want to plant your roots? Maybe you want to move. Maybe you're inspired to, yeah, live closer to family. Maybe you just want to live in that ideal place that you've never lived before. Maybe you want to upgrade your home. Maybe you want to add a room. Maybe you want to renovate the home. There's a vision that you have that you are fired up with this square to Saturn and Neptune in your first house that it can cause a lot of frustration with you and who you are right now, and you are stepping into that bigger, bolder, courageous version of yourself that just is luckier and you can easily manifest like anything you want to manifest now with Neptune in the first house. And yeah, this is kind of just breaking you open in a certain way, it's kind of like recognizing the core of who you are at the same time, and that just getting you in touch with that bigger vision that you're motivated by. And you could just feel like surges of anger of just like, I want that though. I want that life. I want that job. I want that relationship. I want that whatever you want. Like you're getting in touch with your desires, and you can manifest your desires in a really easy way. So it's all about planting the roots for the foundation that you need to go after those desires. So this is a good time to plant some seeds when it comes to home and manifesting a home that is nurturing, safe, and comfortable. This is a great time to have a lot of forgiveness and compassion with the past, and with family and ancestral roots. You can majorly be breaking out of patterns that you've taken on from your family that, served your family to a certain point, but we're moving into different times now where we don't have to create in the same way. We can be more free in this new age. We don't need to, be slaves to the man. You can really like get in tune with the core of your being and where spirit is calling you, so you can make those bigger creative manifestations happen. And that's just mainly what's coming through right now. Age of light, like a lot of light is pouring into you right now. You're getting in touch with your higher self and those higher inspirations to be led in the right direction. I definitely recommend the Master Keys book that I had in the beginning of this video, because that is the best manifestation book that I've found so far. And that can really just help you become a master manifester of your reality, as you should be with Neptune in the first, because it's going to be super, super easy. So yeah, you're recognizing where you can, enact a plan at the same time too. You might be receiving some sort of vision with who you want to be out in the world, where you need to go, what foundation you need, and what daily life plan do you need? What plan do you need to take on? What routines do you need to take on? What health, diet, or exercise thing do you need to start practicing to be that person that you want to be? Okay, so yeah, you're releasing yourself from any old victim mentalities. Victim light attribute prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Yeah, because when you think someone else is a victim, you're victimizing them. And, also just saying you're a victim towards with anything like victimizes yourself. So you're really releasing yourself from that, so you can really just recognize what you can take action on. And you're just getting major, like spiritual, you're kind of having an activation for sure. You're receiving a lot of inspirational wisdom and guidance and the signs and the synchronicities. And it's time to follow them. It's time to be the light out in the world at the same time. You're going to show us how to be that bigger, bolder, courageous leader that is just so in touch with, their imagination and their creativity and their the way you can manifest out in the world. And it's time to majorly get that going and to take action with that. So if any surges of anger come up, then this is like your sign to start taking action to release anything that kept you stuck, but safe, at home. So you can take on the challenge and be who you came here to be. And you came here to be a warrior of light and but in an easy way and be guided by spirit. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Aries. Hi, Taurus. Okay, so this is happening in your third house, and your house has to do with your everyday life, your mentality, your schedule, whatever you do in your everyday life, and you can have a beautiful new beginning here. And this could be a good time to, declutter. If you need to spend less time on social media, this could be a good time to do that. I think we all have been spending a little less time on social media since Jupiter's in Cancer now. But you're also getting a big optimistic boost with your mentality. You're feeling more charismatic, more wanting to connect with people, more. It's a really lucky time to actually connect with people just out and about in your local area, in your community, online. If you want to meet somebody online, this could be a beneficial time too. Online dating apps is kind of like the third house. So you could have a really lucky time with dating. There is some frustrations though with Saturn and Neptune in the 12th house. This could be a major release of just the past and past perspectives and old ways of self-sabotage that maybe kept you a little bit limited and not as in touch with your higher self and those higher inspirations with where you're being called. So this looks like a big, break open, recognizing your higher self in that higher perspective. So you can dissolve or, be more open-minded in your everyday life. So you can, just be super expansive in your everyday life and more in flow and releasing any of those old limiting programs, especially societal programs, whatever programs that have been mentally keeping you limited. And I'm trying to think, I wonder if this, like Jupiter in the third house, is the reason why robotic affirmations have been working so easily for me. Like I am manifesting so much right now and everything. Like I fixed my washing machine the other day because it broke like a couple months ago. And I was so frustrated because we spent so much to fix it. And then, I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Okay. I affirmed that it was fixed for 2 hours. I came back, it was fixed. Okay. So robotically affirming for anything works. So it's really, really important to recognize your mind and where you're putting it in your everyday life. Every single day, every single moment, we are manifesting. If you spend 10 minutes manifesting in the morning, but you spend all day worrying, you're going to be attracting in the bad things, the worry, the fear, whatever, versus like the manifestations. So robotically affirming all day could be very, very powerful for you. But this is, just good seeds to plant with what you want to do in your everyday life that is leading you towards your manifestations and releasing the past. Maybe there was just, things from the past that we took on with how we were raised or whatever, and it put us on autopilot where we can break out of autopilot and be more in flow with our higher self and our, just creating our manifestations in an easier way. And I like this sextile to Mars because it's very supportive when it comes to your creativity. This could be you empowered with your creative projects and your self-expression, and you really want to show more of your authenticity and who the F you are and break out of all the boxes with Uranus at 29 degrees. And we only have this for a little bit longer, so we can fully free ourselves to be who we want to be out in the world. And no boxes, no labels, get rid of all of them. They're not real. So you can, express yourself in the way you want to express yourself and be empowered with your creative projects and just basically what you want to create and, make that part of your everyday life and all of that. So yeah, align your life. What is not aligned or what needs to change? You're recognizing what needs to go. You might be becoming more aware of something that has always been there or has been there for a while, but it needs to go because it's kind of fragmenting you from your higher self, where you can just be more embodied with your higher self. Um, and Goddess and Detective came out. So goddess came out. You're stepping more into that goddess feminine energy, getting more in tune with the feminine manifestation aspect versus feeling like you need to just push or work so hard, really recognize the power of manifesting. So goddess, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, sensuality. Recognize your ability to be magnetic, to really magnetize in what you want. You are meant to do that as a Taurus rising, or Taurus. You're meant to feel good and magnetize the right things in for you by feeling good and embodying more of your higher soulful essence. Um, and that's where the victory will come. I love the cards that came out for you. That's where the victory will come, is by you embodying that divine feminine energy, or in appreciating the divine feminine energy and the connection that we have to it and everything and everyone, to make all your dreams come true in an easier way. Oh yeah, you might be receiving some downloads for like creative projects or something too, and that would be a great time to start anything like that. If you want to teach anything, if you want to learn anything. Oh yeah, that's also what I was going to say. I'm learning things like so easily now too. It feels like I'm just like absorbing it and downloading it, you know? I don't know if that's a Jupiter in the third house thing or not. I think it is. So anything that you want to learn, if you want to learn a language, if you want to learn anything, it's very easy to right now. Um, and then detective came out reverse. So make sure you're not using all your daily life to spy on somebody, or I don't even know. Great power. You have great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out truth. So seek out the truth and recognize just your ability to see the truth in situations, and giving your, speaking up about situations can really, help you step into more of your power too. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Taurus. Hi, Gemini. So this is happening in your house of money. The second house is your money. It's your resources. It's that steady income. It's like hourly pay. And this is a very abundant time. If you want a raise, this is a good time to ask for it. If you want to start a project that helps you earn money, this could be a really good time. This could be a really abundant boost where, it gets going fast and you just, earn a little, more from the side hustle or the income stream or whatever you're really starting. And or in this square from Saturn and Neptune, you could be receiving some sort of bigger vision. And, it could be from somebody online that you're inspired by, that you're motivated by. And you're like, oh, that's so much work. Like, oh, can I do this? Like, but you're empowered by it. And, yeah, you can do it. You just got to make a plan. You got to make a structure, and you got to like put it into action, and, feel, and that will make you feel more comfortable with, creating that abundance that's meant to come towards you, and really starting to put an effort towards this bigger vision. And let's pull some cards. And I like this sextile to Mars in the fourth house, because this is really empowering with your home and foundation. And what do you need? Maybe you need more, maybe you need to eat better. Maybe you need, because the second house is like what we put in our body too, like what's in the fridge. There's ways that you can eat better and have a boosted up self-worth, and that way, and take care of yourself, so you feel more grounded. And boosting up your self-worth does attract more resources too. But you're recognizing maybe what you need to feel more comfortable at home. And that can make you feel just more grounded at home. where, and this could actually be you, kind of seeing some sort of opportunity long distance, and maybe a work opportunity that is long distance, and seeing where maybe you got to move, actually. But it is a lucky time to do that. And you are going to be supported with work. You are very lucky with work. If you're not happy at your job now, if it's not in alignment with your bigger vision, with where you want to go, if you're not inspired anymore, then this would be a good time to switch it up, because Jupiter is going to be making a trine to the North Node, where it's like a fated direction towards a job that is more artistic, more in alignment with your soul and who you are and what you're meant to do, and more in alignment with the people that you want to connect with that are like-minded and empowering. So yeah, you can be kind of motivated in a in a way to make abundance easy and fun. Make abundance in an easy and a fun way. Okay. Sorry, you're the last one. Woman holding a heart. So you're opening up your heart. Let your heart lead the way. Sounds cheesy, but literally Cancer is a heart, and Pisces like rewards you when you're following that higher soulful guidance in your heart. So make sure you're making decisions from up here: peace, love, joy, excitement, enlightenment, inspiration, and you will be led in the right direction towards creating more abundance for you. And yeah, at the same time, you want to get grounded. Get grounded, highly sensitives, connect with nature. And what women holding a heart. Yeah, I think you might be having a heart awakening in some way. Um, let's see. Rebel. I like that too. So yeah, it's kind of like you're rebelling in a certain way by really listening to the core of who you are, and you're motivated by something that you see um out in the world. The 11th house is like your hopes and your dreams and your visions. You could be receiving like visions like very easily with Neptune here now. It's kind of like you receive a download and you just know the whole different path that you want to jump on, and you're just really lucky with it, with connecting with the right people. And so don't be afraid to change up your groups or anything, so you can, co-create with like-minded people that want to create with you. So you know what dream you want to enact and what structure needs to be there for it. And maybe you're connecting with people that are very rebellious, that are like, kind of fiery, kind of, but they're lighting you up in some way. So recognize your ability to rebel. And oh yeah, rebel is challenge authority to affect social change, reject spiritual systems that do not serve the inner needs. So focus on your inner needs, and you'll be in alignment with possibly people, the right people that want to rebel. That's so funny that that message is coming up. Let me pull one more starseed card. Yeah. Leap. You go first. Yeah. There's some sort of big leap that you're taking that, might feel rebellious. And it is towards a bigger vision that feels very exciting. And, but yeah, know that the universe will catch you. This is the universe will catch you transit with Jupiter that's going to be trining the North Node and then trining Saturn when it comes to career moves and then legacy moves. So if you're getting inspired by a bigger vision that feels in alignment with like your legacy, leap towards it. Follow your heart. Let that lead the way, and you will, like, everything will go right. All right. Thank you so much, Gemini.